Are we working? I think we are. Yes, we are. Ha! What? I don't want my tag to be that. Can I change that? Oh, I don't know if I still have it though. Wait, do I? Oh no, I don't know if I saved it. 'Cause I think I made it on my desktop, not on my. Wait a minute. Okay, open image in tab. Ah, yeah, this works. Live stream. Uh, right. Open like a new tab. Here and son of a gun. We're gonna go. Counts. Counts. No, this is not what I want. I want to go to. I guess I'll go here. Upload a video. I'm not actually uploading a video though. I'm going here. Analytics dashboard. It's, SpongeBob. Oh no, that's not what I want. SpongeBob with pencil. This is scratch, scratch. Yeah, this is it. Oh, not Twitter. No, no, Twitter. Yeah, this be. Anyways, here I'll put it up here. Let me do this. Uh, Expand, customization. Uh, like, change. Download. This one. Open. What's going on? Why is it so far zoomed in? Done. Okay. I'll fix that later. Publish. I'm listening to music right now, but I can't put it up here because it's copyright. Yeah, I don't want to get copyright. So, I wish there was a solution, but I don't got nothing right now. Sorry. Turn on my webcam. Video capture. Video capture. Okay. And it's gonna have to work. Dude, the seat I'm on is so much lower than my like table. It's like all the way up here. Oh, shit. It's really heavy. Uh-huh. But yeah, you can see like I'm playing music, but you can't hear it. So sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Okay, I'm closing out of this. I want to work now. So there's a few things um that I can work on. This uh who was I? Oh, Casey was supposed to work on this. He didn't get to it. That's okay. That's okay. Uh, Yes, let me just make a list. Just make a list. So, uh, list of GDD topics to design. So we've got narrative. Let me maybe not bullets right now. Narrative, um, art direction, um, controller mapping. Hmm. Um, Not sure if level design is something we want to work on right now. I'll do private slash green design. All of these are pretty important. Um, so if we just kind of get into it, grab a book. You just wait around. Um, I think I want to review. Uh, no, I'm making a called Bailey. Bailey, are you busy? I want to put some music on because um, it's important. And I know there's gonna be moments where I'm just gonna be like dead silent, not saying nothing, thinking. Um, oh, I've been streaming much. Uh, huh? I'm working music. Hello, can you hear me? Give me one moment. Okay, you can go ahead and heat up some food. Can't I hear the music on? There we go. That's fine. What's going on? Hello? 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 What's going on? Hello? Hello? Yeah. Working? Hello? Oh, no. Hello? There we go. Okay, I fixed it. Oh. Man. I thought of an idea and now it's like completely just derailed my whole workflow for today. But let me get some tea real quick, Bob. So I condensed the game description into tags and like I mentioned this earlier today, but I condensed it into tags and gameplay what's it called? Gameplay sections. Tags. Okay. So basically you know how like we were talking earlier, and we are like, we kind of want it to look like almost like a VR game.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is for the combat and leveling for dungeon exploration. Like that is like the art direction we want to go for that, right? Because
Right.
like I don't imagine we want the business simulator to be like a VR game. um,
I mean,
'cause-
it could. I don't really.
what would that
I feel
look
like
like?
it's a good question. I mean, they exist like business VR games. Like, I'm pretty sure there's like, for
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure there's like a VR game for like blacksmithing and shit. I mean, I just could see that being a thing.
I don't know if we'd be able to like get the controls looking right for it.
I mean, I'm not necessarily saying we have to like do that. I was just saying
Yeah.
that, I mean,
Like it's possible, right? But like I guess when it comes to art direction, I'm firmly believe that there is a like right decision, um, or at least like a right direction. So what I wanted to sort of talk to you about is the art direction we should go for like the business simulator. But most importantly, more importantly, like the civilian RPG, like element. So like that's like walking around the city, like do we want that to be like a a first person like 3D experience, a third person 3D or like third person like when it's like behind you, like a third person 3D experience? Do we want it to be like pixels, like like a pixel experience where like you can like just quickly travel throughout the streets and stuff, and then maybe there's like whenever you approach somebody you see a more proper sprite of them in dialogue. um that's the one I'm really caught up on, because for the business simulator I kind of have a pretty good idea. um but this one I'm fucked.
I really don't know about changing art styles for it. I think it would be. I don't know. I think it would feel odd, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Do you think we should change camera at all? Because I feel like navigating the city in first person could be a little bit annoying.
I don't think it'd be that bad. I mean, we can give them like a map and stuff, like a map of the city, and you just kind of either have a mini map or an actual map. It don't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
And we can label things. I don't think navigating would be a big issue. That being said, I don't know how convoluted we plan on making the city itself.
It's gonna be pretty large.
Well, large is fine. As long as things are obvious.
hmm. Do you have any strong like opinions on where to go for art style, or like
City.
yeah, for city?
Um, I really just think keeping it the same as it is in the dungeon would be fine, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't know if doing like a different art style would add a bunch of work or not.
Um, I I feel like it's a little bit of the opposite when it comes to workload. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah, there's like pixel art's hard to make. Don't get me wrong, but like it's a lot harder to make like a whole 3D city, and like program like the simulated lights and like have a bunch of 3D models of like all the NPCs. Um, I wonder how well Unity takes those. Um,
Well, did we? I don't even remember if we ever decided, but if we did want it to look more realistic, then we would be possibly moving to Unreal Engine, I think you said.
yeah, it's kind of like I do think that, but then I was looking at stuff last night about Unreal Engine, and it's very intimidating because Unreal is not like it has a lot of okay. You know this well. Like Unreal is great at making games look AAA. Like getting AAA art and visuals is easier than ever with Unreal Engine 5, and so many indie developers are doing it. But it's I'm totally down to try using Unreal. There is a very high chance that as soon as like that things will just start breaking. Um because a lot of Unreal's like built-in like good looking software is very shit at doing anything that isn't like explicitly what it's for. What I mean is like, okay, Unreal has this lighting system. I forget it might be called Nanite. I think it's called. And the way it works is basically it simulates light and reflections based off of the camera position. So if you move quickly, what happens is like if the camera moves quickly, then you get like shakes and like smears and warps and stuff like that. And that's just like one example. Like geometry starts breaking very quickly. Nanite also doesn't work with things like fog. It doesn't work with like fog, rain, any like glass, and stuff like that. So it has, and like that's just Nanite. So
I'm gonna be honest. I don't feel like this game needs to do all that, anyways. I don't.
Yeah,
think it's
we
necessary.
we might be able to use like my only worries with using Unreal is just that in order to make a game in Unreal Engine 5, you have to have a really good workflow, like a really good workflow, and there's not a ton of documentation on what that workflow is like because all of the systems that are built into Unreal Engine 5 are very sensitive, so they break easily. That's why a lot of games have really bad performance using Unreal Engine 5. So another example is like it has its own built-in like a like world rendering software, and that world rendering software, it works well, but the way it maps out your world space, you load it like when you load in an area, it loads in everything. So it loads in like all of the like NPCs, sounds, like all that shit. So if you don't design your world space to be rendered like, like if you don't keep that in mind when you're designing your world space, you can get a lot of lag on the like
Yeah.
on the player side. So you have to like sort of take in. There's a lot of us like a lot of systems that you have to be very knowledgeable about and take into account when designing your game and programming your game using Unreal Engine 5. Um, and that's a little bit intimidating. But if you can do it, it works like wonders. Like it's like the best games of like the past 5 years are probably all made in Unreal Engine 5. Now, given a lot of those studios work closely with Epic to like optimize the use of the system, but
So
we can give it a shot.
if we were to use Unity, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing to use Unity either, to be honest.
That's what I'm curious. I don't know like how good Unity is at um like realistic games.
Here,
Like, I don't.
I just looked up an image like this. Oh, here, actually, I'll send it to you. Like this right here, I think this just looks fine. I think this is fine.
Oh yeah, that looks perfectly fine.
Like that, I assume it was made in Unity. It says it is, so.
I see. Yeah. Now, given like Unity shouldn't have the issue that Unreal has. Like if this were like Unreal Engine, right? You'd see that like you'd see this and you'd say it looks fine, but as soon as you put a player inside of it and he runs past that light, you're gonna have issues. But Unity shouldn't. Unity doesn't have like Unity isn't really like optimized for designing games all that well. It kind of just says like, hey, here are the systems. Figure it out. You got it. And so
Yeah.
there's a lot of like in the development, like in the programming pipeline, you just solve all the problems.
Yeah.
But with Unreal Engine 5, it tells you, hey, we've solved these problems, and you have to work around solving different problems while incorporating our solutions for everything else.
I mean, I'm not really particular on either one because for me, it'd probably be about the same learning either one, really.
Yeah, which
'Cause I
honestly
have
makes me
so little
want.
experience on each.
Yeah, that kind of makes me want to use Unreal, like
Yeah.
being so for real.
That, I was, yeah, it might be. I'm not gonna lie, an art style like this could be fire. This shit looks fire. I ain't even gonna lie.
Oh my god, this is perfect, dude. I was just thinking about an art style like this. What is this? What is this?
I have no idea. Oh, I think it's just somebody. It's like a Unity asset store preview. Maybe it's called Polygon Dungeons. I don't know. Polygon Dungeon. Nope. I have no idea. But yeah, I mean, this right here, I thought this looked fire. I think this would be pretty cool itself. I don't know how in detail you can get with Unity. Because last night we were talking about like creating weak points and stuff. I don't know how that all flows in through Unity. I know nothing about Unity. So
Let me see.
I wonder if I can search this and see if it's actually from a game or not. Oh, it's just called Polygon Dungeon Fashion Pack. You can just straight up buy all this. I will say, I like the dungeon for this like little pack. Holy fuck, this pack is $150. What the fuck? That's crazy. But I do not like the character models for this, to be honest.
Yeah. Can you stream it?
Yeah. One moment. Oh, here. I'll just let it go through this little video. Like,
Oh wait, there we go.
I like the dungeon itself, but I'm not a big fan of the models.
Yeah. Yeah, I really wouldn't. I don't know.
I also don't necessarily want to buy anything for this. I just.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like it's a good reference for sure.
I'm not a fan of that like character model at all.
Yeah, I actually had I have an image or a GIF actually, um, about like this is gonna seem silly, but I like a lot about the character model in this GIF. I haven't taken the time to dissect what I like and dislike and what I'd like to change about the style. Um, but let me see if I can find this GIF. Okay, this is a GIF from this 3D artist. And I don't know what I like and dislike about the model though. So I'm not sure how much more. What'd you say? What'd you say?
I was gonna say something and I lost it.
Oh, gotcha.
I forget.
I say about the model, about the
I will
style
say,
of the model.
yeah, the style itself. I don't know if it fits with. Well, I guess it depends on which way we go for the. If we wanted to do this more polygon, style, it would fit more.
Yeah, but I think our okay. I think. Oh, another thing I've been thinking, I should say, uh, is like just going like kind of all out with the actual like first person look, like like super realistic. Um, like the clip that comes to mind, and this is silly as well, but this is the clip that comes to mind for me. Um,
Yeah, I definitely like this.
yeah, I think that is yeah, okay. If you like this, then I think that's a good direction to go in.
Yeah, I was also like thinking that this is how it would look.
Similarly, I don't know. I don't know for like the city, like making a bunch of models like this. It's going to like it. Like for the dungeon, it makes sense. I'm worried for the city. Like this is going to be like a Herculean task.
I will say, I really don't know if the city needs to be very big. It might be. I can't think of why it would be so big, based on what ideas we've had so far for it.
Yeah,
It would kind of. I think it would just feel really empty and pointlessly large at that point.
I guess when I say it's going to be very big, like it's not. I was thinking maybe like a a quarter of the size of like Baldur's Gate City, you know, not the whole game, but like the city itself. Um, like a quarter of that size.
Couldn't tell you exactly how big that is, but a quarter of it.
But for the this is also strange because like I guess for the city we need to come up with what sites are going to be like what sites you can interact with. Because maybe we can make them like really small. If we could make them small.
But I don't know. I just
I think we could. I think we could streamline it a fair amount. Um,
unless we were to add more features, it I just feel like making a giant sprawling metropolis would just make the game feel really empty.
yeah, I wasn't necessarily thinking. Well, I guess I was still kind of thinking about it from the perspective of like a pixel game, um, where like you can travel like a block, like you can travel like a city block in like a second. Um, but from the perspective of a 3D game, I probably wouldn't make it larger than like Whiterun. I might not even make it like the whole size of Whiterun.
I think Whiterun would actually be a pretty good size. If I'm hold on, actually, let me see if I remember which one Whiterun was. Yeah. I think Whiterun would be fun, like this size of a city.
Now I just need to like come up with like because we got this realistic look. It's gonna be fantasy, like it has to be fantasy. Um, I don't know how like city itself should look, and what this dungeon even is for the city. I have no idea. Hmm.
Honestly, size-wise, did you play Dauntless at all? I feel like
That's the
their player
like
hub
the
was-
hunting one, right?
yeah, the Monster Hunter.
Yeah, the monster. Yeah, yeah.
Their player hub was, I, from what I remember, it was pretty big and it felt like a pretty good size.
Yeah. I think that could be
If I'm
good.
remembering it correctly, I haven't played it in a long ass time. Though it would turn into, I think it would definitely turn more into like a player hub rather than a city.
Like I want the size of like the Stardew Valley like the size of the Stardew Valley map. Not the desert, excluding like the desert and the like extra areas.
Right.
But like, you know, like the city, the beach. Um
Hmm.
I have to think about it. I'm gonna have to think about it some more. I guess we could make it just look like historical, not historical, pseudo historical, like medieval, you know.
Yeah.
Um, what is that? What are those types of houses? I just thought of like good reference image in my head. Because I actually have a pretty good idea for this. Hold up. Because the idea I have now is almost like a few plazas, essentially. That might sound strange, but like,
A few pauses.
yeah, that might sound strange without a reference image of what I mean. Um,
I think I understand.
with buildings that are like tightly packed, and you can go in like each one of them. Maybe not right away. Um, here's a good. Okay, this is from Minecraft. But like, I think this is a good example of like direction.
Yeah, I saw the same photo.
Yeah, with buildings like this. Buildings like this.
Building wise, I definitely, I
Like,
agree with these buildings.
that way we can actually like put stuff in them.
Yeah.
Also, another thing I've thought about for the art direction, I kind of want the game to be, and this might sound weird, but I kind of want the game to be like kind of vibrant.
You want it to be what? Vibrant?
Yeah, like kind of vibrant in like the colors. Um, but I don't know how.
Or both city and dungeon.
I know I at least want areas of the dungeon to be pretty vibrant. I think it'd be cool if the city was also kind of vibrant. Yeah, I think it'd be cool if the city was vibrant. I don't know, like, if the... I don't know. I don't know what's best.
I can't lie. So, alright. So make the gameplay, like, relatively gruesome and stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's gruesome, it's kind of difficult, but with this sort of art style would kind of be... I feel kind of crazy, to be honest. Maybe not quite as cartoony. It might be a little too vibrant, but something closer to this, and with like a more gruesome play or game style, might also go crazy.
Like, so you're saying like when you say this art style, and you're saying not cartoony, you mean like the colors, basically?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a question. This might sound silly. I feel like every example I'm pulling up feels silly.
I believe this is from Star Wars, this new Star Wars game, like something.
Oh,
like this,
that's
maybe?
fucking awesome.
I feel like that's pretty vibrant. It's a lot of tan, but ooh.
Okay, this isn't actually that vibrant, but like kind of like this.
Oh, I can't send that image. Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot.
But more like, let's see,
If I can find the same.
like this, and
God, I can't send this image.
like this. Like, just imagine being on the street of that last one, like that.
Yeah. Is that from Attack on Titan?
Maybe, actually.
I think it is.
What?
But yeah,
No, it's from Dan Machi. Actually. I just looked up.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
It's a Twitter
I
post.
saw the wall in the background.
Yeah, I thought it was from. I was like, what? It is. Yeah, it's pretty nice. I think it's still a little too cartoony.
Yeah, a little too stylized. Honestly, just wanted to get a better look at the photo because I clicked on it and it just got smaller on Google Images. But yeah, I do like this first image you sent. I'm not gonna lie. I never realized it when watching Danmachi. I think this first image is also from Danmachi.
It is. That's the one I looked up.
Yeah, this town looks so sad. There's nobody.
Yeah. There's a lot of times where there's like nobody, but I also kind of like it from like a gameplay like perspective where it's like like you can make the scenes like of the game a little bit more impactful at times when there's not many NPCs, you know. Let me look at here. Walls. Wall.
I will say I don't know which engine would be better for this type of look.
I have no idea. Like it's okay. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, for the realistic look, 110% Unreal Engine. Without a doubt, no contest. However, to optimize the game, not Unreal Engine. Like, for performance sakes, it's like it's a lot harder to optimize it in Unreal Engine.
I think that's fine. I don't think that's a big issue, to be honest. I mean, it is an issue, but I since this isn't, we have no expectations for this game right now. Nobody's expecting it to come out. That we have time to just figure it out, kind of thing.
That's fair.
I don't think it's a big issue, as long as we just stick to it.
Okay, I guess I will take you up on this. I think that's.
This is another pack I found. Is this for Unity? No, this is Unreal Engine. I feel like this one's somewhat close. It's not quite. I'm trying to find something that's in Unreal Engine that looks like that.
I mean, I'm actually pretty happy if there isn't, admittedly.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I was just trying to find something that's somewhat close.
I get you.
I'm more trying to figure out if Unreal Engine can do it well. Holy shit. This is made in Adobe 3D. Holy fuck. This is kind of crazy. I ain't even gonna lie.
That's insane. What the fuck? I wonder how good like fog is really important. So like.
Yeah. I also think like making one of the dungeon levels super foggy would be like crazy. Like you can't hardly see 5 feet in front of you, and you like try to find your teammates while swinging an axe. I think that shit would be funny as fuck. Your tank accidentally chops your healer's head off. Perfect.
I will say, dude, holy fuck. Animation in Unreal Engine, like making rigs in Unreal Engine is fucking insane.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
So there is this where
I don't know what this is from. I don't know if it's Unreal Engine or not. But I think this is pretty close.
Which from now? Yeah, that is pretty close.
I don't know from. It won't tell me. but but yeah.
Making animation rigs in Unreal Engine feels like a cheat code. Like it's, I'm not. It's so. It's like what the fuck. I guess for character models, we want to take like a sort of dark and darker approach, though, like with
Yeah.
the realistic look.
Yeah, I was trying to find like ideas for character models. I do like Dark and Darker's character models, but they are very rigid, which I would not.
like in movement.
Yeah, like it's very.
And it's also kind of another issue of Unreal Engine 5. It's rigid character models. Bailey, I wanted to talk to you about something.
Yeah.
So I realized this earlier. This game can't really be played single player, can it?
I don't know. So far, it doesn't seem like it. I mean, I kind of feel like that it's so. Okay, so we had the I don't remember if this was you and me or if this was me and Casey talking at work about this, but there was the idea that the dungeon and the like all the players don't need to be in the dungeon at the same time. Some people could stay back doing other stuff like crafting or something if they wanted to.
Yeah.
And brain died. Fuck, what was I gonna say? But so like making it single player in terms of like so I guess you could do it in a way that like Valheim does it, and that's like your character's saves, and you would be able to open it up into like your own single player if you wanted to play alone while your friends weren't online or something.
Oh yeah, that is good.
Grind stuff.
I do like that idea.
You probably wouldn't be able to like make it through the dungeon very far. You'd have to like stay in maybe the earlier levels and.
Yeah. That's kind of what I like that a lot, actually. I like that a lot.
Oh, excuse me.
Um, I kind of am curious, like about something, something. Oh, right. No, what this dungeon should be narratively, like,
Right.
because I want it to be pretty like I don't know. Maybe this is just me. I kind of want it to be really like diverse and like scenery, you know?
Yeah. I was like thinking this is gonna be like a fucking ultra dungeon that just kept going down and down, and you would like go through like there'd probably be like a forest zone, a water
Yeah,
level zone,
yeah,
like lava zone, all the classics.
yeah,
And then there's like actual dungeon zones. Maybe you
yeah.
go through like a abandoned castle at some point.
That's kind of what I was thinking as well. I'm glad to hear. Um,
That's what me and Casey talked about a lot at work. Is
but like narratively, like I wonder what it would be. I did think about it potentially being like a dream, where it's like, um, this dungeon is uh, like it's somehow like this this external place that is like a dream, um and so whenever you die you just wake up, um like in your like player like home, right? um
so do we um like did we want people to like lose their stuff when they died in the dungeon?
I haven't fully decided. I don't think losing your stuff seems a bit harsh. um
Is, you don't think what?
I don't, maybe like lose like what they gathered, you know,
Yeah.
but not lose like what they're wearing.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I was thinking like losing your stuff but being able to go back through and getting it back. Something sort of like that.
I like that.
There could be something like I don't know what it would be, but some sort of like you die and you get some sort of chance to recover some of your stuff. Maybe it'd be like a weird mini game that you have to do. And
Mm.
if you fuck up the little mini game, you like lose a bunch more stuff. But the more you succeed at it, the more stuff you keep.
Hmm.
I don't know about that one. That one was just something that popped in my brain.
I mean, it's not that bad of an idea. I I kind of like the idea that it's like an extraction, like you either feast or famine, you know? I feel like it makes like you have to be more tactical about how far you push into the dungeon. Um, does that make sense?
Yeah. I definitely do like if I don't know. I just like there being a lot of risk of going into the dungeon.
Yeah.
And I think it wouldn't be that bad, like because it's not PvP, so I feel like it wouldn't. Maybe it would still make players mad. I don't know, but I feel like it wouldn't make people as angry since there's no PvP.
Yeah. Why did people start boycotting Darkest Dungeon, by the way? Or sorry, Dark and Darker?
The dev team sucks. I don't know.
Aren't they
I
just like...
stopped following the game. The devs just kind of like let the streamers and stuff of the game kind of dictate what happens, and it makes the gameplay just unfun. It makes it unfun for those who don't play like 24/7.
Mm-hmm. Dude, this is the Reddit is like the subreddit for Dark and Darker is fucking horrifying. What did he do? Like,
I don't know if he did something recently. I have no idea, but
it's like, dude, have you seen this? This is crazy. They're just dunking on this guy. What's it? Okay. You seen this?
no, I've never been on the Reddit.
Look. I'm not sure if you're on stream. Okay, so like, this is the first post 4 hours ago. Picture of the, I guess, lead developer. I don't know who SDF is.
Yeah, that's the lead developer.
This is this update fucking said, wait, I don't play this game anymore. Art and Farter update 69.2 final. When you don't even play the game anymore, but you still keep an eye on the subreddit, and SDF is still burning everything to the ground. Interesting. Dude, what the fuck happened?
I don't know what they changed lately. They removed random modifiers?
Are they sinking the ship on purpose? What is this graph? Or what a graph? Dude, this is insane. Current state of game. Holy fuck. These people hate this game more than more than League of Legends players hate Riot Games. What the fuck?
Oh, did they? They brought back, or rather, they never fixed it, but they made it worse again, and the game's movement speed meta again.
Yeah, people were saying all Squire build, like all Squire parties and weird shit. I don't know.
Well, Squire gear is like, it's your like free loadout you get. When they say that, I assume they mean there's no like gear score that you have to meet to get into basically the ranked mode.
Oh.
And so, and you just squire in and rat and watch other people fight and then steal the loot while they're still fighting.
That's crazy. Coincidence? Circus themed trap remix controlling the dungeon. Is this a picture? This isn't a picture of Dark
No,
Pepper.
that is. I think that's chivalry.
The gun?
It's probably modded, but
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. How Iron Mace failed Dark and Darker players. False promises, greed, control. What the fuck happened? Wow.
did they make the game pay to win?
I have no. What the fuck happened?
Everything in this video is my opinion.
It's an
SDF
hour
said
and
if something
17
like
minutes
Videogame happens
long.
in this game, criticize us harshly. Alright, SDF, let's get started.
Apparently, he did
Brothers
make
and
the game pay to
sisters,
win.
For almost
How?
3 years, Iron Mace pretended to be the good guys, and they have been feeding us a narrative that they are a passionate indie studio. But today, I will show you how I believe Iron Mace is actually more like a well-funded, information-controlling corporate startup whose success appears to be built on theft, lies, and manipulation.
On Nexon and Tencent? Oh my god.
Wait, what happened?
Hence, why I'm wearing my corporate costume instead of my trusty cleric frock. Unfortunately, most creators in this community have NDAs or contracts with Iron Mace.
Okay. We gotta watch this later. I want to watch it later at least. I don't know if you want to watch it, right?
Dude, that's crazy.
It's an hour and 17-minute video. Holy fuck. I'm gonna send it to P too and ask if he wants to watch this later. Also, are you guys not gonna play?
no
Repo?
idea.
Shit.
Honestly, might go ask him real quick because I'm not sure. Here, I'll go ask him real quick and then I'll be back.
Okay.
We don't know.
Preston said he already watched the hour 17-minute video. So for art direction, realistic, all out kinda. Realistic, vibrant colors, diverse landscapes, and then for the Bailey, is there like a narrative you like for the city?
A narrative for the city?
Yeah.
I don't think I have anything particular.
Like in terms of like how the city relates to the dungeon, you know.
The only thing in my brain is that it was just like in my head, it's just like a city that was built by the dungeon for adventurers, basically. Is how in my head it went, but honestly, I don't know.
Okay. I mean, maybe that's just like maybe we don't really need to go any further than that. I do want to come up with a narrative for the dungeon itself. Like, 'cause it's, it's an interesting dungeon, right? Like, it's got all sorts of, like, layers to it. And, like, what's at the bottom, I'm very, very interested. Kind of reminds me of, like, Minecraft, where it's, like, this game, like, seemingly like doesn't have like a ton to it, but there's like tidbits of information, that reveal more.
Sorry, I was distracted. Can you say that again?
I say it kind of reminds me of like Minecraft in a little bit, in that sense of like it doesn't matter what the dungeon is, but its existence does like tell a story,
Right. I do like that. Like just its the whole its existence telling a story thing. It could be kind of cool if we like just put in like old civilizations in the dungeon that like had whether like either it be ancient text or like hieroglyphic stories kind of throughout the dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be
Like,
and maybe you can collect them.
oh yeah. Oh, dude, that'd be so cool.
It'd be also kind of cool if you could like decipher them as well. You have to
Yeah.
find ways to decipher them.
Like we can like basically like you find like a tablet and then you get like a cutscene of you find the tablet, you pick it up and you bring it to like I don't know, a historian, and there's like a cutscene that happens of like this like black and white like these are the people here, right? They're doing this thing and like boom. I like that a lot.
If you find like paintings on like a wall, like ancient paintings, kind of like caveman drawings almost.
Yeah.
And if you had like a specific tool, you could like kind of cut a chunk out of the wall and bring that with you.
Oh, I do like that. That's cool.
I think that'd be really fun.
Is this a tool that you think like would be given to players or like they have to seek out?
I'm thinking they might have to seek it out somehow.
Yeah. Mostly unknown players. Dungeon is it's a thing that sex to be there. Hidden information. Historical information. Hidden tablets. Paintings. And let's see. Information about story beats. monster weaknesses. Monster weaknesses.
No, there's not a whole lot of just co-op first-person dungeon crawlers I'm finding.
There's not. First piece of first person or co-op first person?
Both.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of just first-person ones in general, but co-op ones there's even less.
You know, it'd be really cool
What?
if we could make a single player version of this game and like make it to where you could transfer over your character into the single player version. You wouldn't be able to transfer it back from the single player version.
What do you mean?
Like if we made like a single player version of this game, which is not what this is meant to be, but like later on, because I do think this game would be a lot of fun, like single player. But of course, it's not being designed for single player. So in that instance, like it's not going to be fun for single player for the most part, right? But like a single player, like first person dungeon, like dungeon crawl, I feel like that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
What if these? I just got an idea. What if these paintings were like the source of like how you get down to a floor in the dungeon?
Oh, that would be kind of fire.
And so like,
Oh, it would be kind of fire that you like use these like ancient things to form like a story, and that story is what opens the door to like the next floor.
to form a story, and the story is what? Can you explain that a little bit more?
There's several different pieces, and like each piece is a different part of a story, and once you connect them all, you have like this. I don't know how it would work like in game, but um, you connect them all. It formed the full story of like that. I guess that chapter. I guess you'd call it.
Mm-hmm.
And that story itself, after completing it, would just be like the key to opening the door.
Yeah, I think I kind of get what you mean. Um,
Whether it be like your characters reciting some sort of storyline in front of the door to open it, or putting the pieces into the door, I have no idea.
I think it would be cool if it was like, oh man, how do I? I do kind of like that idea. Um, I don't know if it should be like, well, what if it was like, okay, so let's look at one floor of the dungeon, right? Do we want these floors to be kind of like how Dark and Darker does it, where like they're never like, you never play the same one twice? Is that how it works? Like,
No.
no? Okay.
They're the same each time on Dark and Darker.
Oh,
And well, that's not entirely true. They were for a while. They kind of go back and forth in Dark and Darker. They made them randomly generated for a while. They got rid of it. They brought it back. So there was a time where it was randomly generated each time. But for our game, I was definitely thinking it's actually just kind of a set thing, because we had the idea of doing like mapping,
yeah,
and that doesn't really work in a randomly generated dungeon.
you're right. Yeah. So, what if it was like, no, I think finding multiples
I think
probably best,
I
right?
do think it could be randomly generated the first time you like get into the game, so each run is different, but like your
Oh, that's
after
really
that.
interesting.
I don't
That's
know how easy
really
or hard that
cool.
is to do, but I do think that'd be cool as fuck.
Yeah, that's really fucking cool. I have no idea how hard that would be to do.
Yeah.
You know something that's really interesting? Okay, I thought about this. Like, and I'm not sure how Dark and Darker does it. And this might be like a stretch. This might be a stretch. Um, but so like, let's say we started a run. I want to play without you guys.
Right.
I can't really play without you guys because I want to clear the dungeon. So
Right.
I go into like at the start of the starting menu. I basically look at a list of like people that are hosting a game, and then I click on that, and like I request to join I request to join one of them. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah.
And then whatever I like get while exploring with them, I keep on my character or in my chest in my player home. And then when I join back in our game, I have that stuff.
Yeah. I think that's, yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Also, if you wanted, I don't. So I know we talked about this not really being a single player game at the time, but if you wanted to do it single player, um, you could also like have these dungeon seeds like attached to the character themselves.
Oh, that's so oh my God, Bailey. You might be a coding genius.
Well, I don't know about coding, G. I don't know how easy or hard or possible that is to
Well,
code.
you have stored on the character information like the dungeon seed for each level, and then whenever you join a party, right? If all of the players, basically this is how it would work. If all of the players share a dungeon seed, that's the one you use for that floor, right? And
Well,
if they
I
don't,
don't know. Sharing a dungeon seed would be like, at least with random players, would be really tough to do. I think.
yeah,
Especially if you're in
it's
front.
like it's not gonna happen, right? It's
Yeah.
not gonna happen. But you don't like need it to happen, right? Like you're assuming it's not going to happen, but like this way, when we join again and we want to play together again, right? Our dungeon seats match.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I join another group, it's not going to match. So we're going to
Yeah.
either get a random one or the host dungeon seat,
Yeah. Yeah.
which might actually the honestly the best way to do it might just be to do like the host dungeon seat. Like every player
Well,
has this might have been what
I
you
was,
were getting at before.
that was more like for you being able to go in by yourself. You
Mm-hmm.
would want your if you I would want their seeds like attached to them just so they had the same because if they did a bunch of mapping, they could still go through the dungeon on their own and use the
Yeah,
mapping that they used.
yeah, that makes sense. Well, if you start a character, the way it would work is like if you start like your game, um, like with other players, just you automatically get like all the map seeds for like you get all the map seeds together, right? And then when you go back and you play on your own, you already have a map seed of like all of the maps. So even if you progress a floor, like it's still gonna match. Does that make sense?
I'm a little lost.
Okay. So like it map seeds would be attached to player characters, right?
Yeah.
And they would be generated the moment you get into the game. So like the moment you join a party and you like get into a lobby and that lobby gets into the game, everybody in that lobby gets a map seed, assuming it's a new player character, right? Gets map seeds for all of the floors, right? So let's say there's 50 floors. Everybody gets 50 floors of map seeds, and they all match because it's tied to the game, um, or like because they're all generated at the same time in the same lobby, and they all share the same information, and that's permanent. So when any one of those players decides to play alone, they still have that same map seed. Like they have the same map seeds that they generated the first day they played.
Yeah.
So any mapping they did carries over, and any mapping they do will carry over if they play with those players again.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, we had the same idea. I just
Okay, cool, dude. That's really clever though. Holy shit, you're a genius. Holy fuck. This might want to take. I get so excited. Like I don't know. Dude, this is an issue that I would have thought about for hours. Like, oh my god. Uh, did I share with you the GDD,
Share with me the what?
the game design document?
Did you? I don't know if you did. No, you definitely did not share this with me. Holy fuck. Jesus Christ, Bryce.
I mean, a lot of it's incomplete. The formatting was like the formatting. I made the formatting a while ago, but um, I made the formatting a few years ago for a game design document. Um,
Right.
but I did like typing on stuff. The summary is okay. I haven't the gameplay section. I haven't typed since the first day I made this document, so I don't know. I don't even know what it says. Um, um, I did have an idea. I wanted to talk to you about controller mapping again, Bailey. Because this is a game we want people to play with a controller, right?
We want them to play with the controller.
Is it?
I don't know. I can. I will say, if we want to do it with controller, I think was in the mindset that there'd be a lot more abilities than I was planning originally. And
Yeah.
if you want to do that, doing that with controller is a lot more difficult.
Do you play Dark and Darker with a controller?
No,
No.
I don't think it even has controller support.
Oh, interesting.
Though it could, easily.
I kind of want to be able to play the game with a controller.
It's not terrible. I think
Like, I'd like to be able to do both.
Man, I felt like I was gonna say something and now I've lost it. Fuck.
So, do you think we should use Unity or Unreal?
I'm thinking I'm more leaning to Unreal at this point from what all we've talked about.
Okay. I'll let Ted know. Hopefully you don't want to shoot me. Um,
Gosh. Same.
Dude, you fell asleep so suddenly yesterday.
I know, I like passed the fuck out.
You're like, yeah, I was just waiting on you to get home. I was like, yeah, I'm home. Here, give me 2 seconds. I'll use the restroom. And I was like, all right, can you open the stream now? He was gone. I
Yeah,
was like,
I was fucking out, dude. It was kind of crazy. I don't even know what happened. I was just like hit suddenly, like smacked me in the mouth. Oh.
I kind of want to head home. I don't know. I'm like, I'm on campus right now. Yeah, I'm not home. I kind of want to head home, but also, okay, buddy. I kind of want to head home, but also, I don't know.
Why do you want to stay on campus?
Well, because I want to be productive, but I want to be productive at my house, but like, I don't know.
The heck,
Like,
I have next Friday off. What is this bullshit? Is next Friday a holiday? Oh, it's July 4th. God damn, it's the 4th of July already next Friday? Fuck. That's crazy.
but I don't really want to like. I want to go home, but I feel like it's not gonna be fun to go home. Like I'd love to go home and just like
Why is it not gonna be fun to go home?
because like I know later tonight there's gonna be people over and there's gonna be like it's gonna be like a small little party at my house. I just wanna I don't I don't wanna
Stay in your room.
yeah, but I know I'm gonna be in my room, but try to get me to go on.
Okay, you can come hang out with me.
My God.
You can come hang out in my room.
Oh, whoa. Whoa. You want to help me with controller mapping and like working on like controls again? I know we worked on controls a little bit.
So my only issue with that is I don't know how I feel like we need to plan skills first, and I do think we should do that with Tay because I think Tay has a very different idea of skill wise.
Like, let's see what I have here. So there's perks, there's masteries, combo skills. These aren't.
I think you and I have similar ideas. I think Tay's idea is that like he might be. I'm not for sure exactly what his is, but he might be looking at like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Q R E, and then like from what I understood, whenever he was talking to me, he's thinking a lot of fucking buttons.
Yeah.
Which is very hard to do on controller. That being said, WoW managed to do controller support that is usable, so.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's actually kind of fucking nuts.
I did think of a really interesting mechanic for parrying and blocking.
Yeah.
Pressing the light and heavy attack buttons at the same time.
Oh, that. Well. So, are we exclusively like putting parry with a shield, or can you parry with any weapon?
I think we should make it to where you can parry. I think you should be able to parry with a handful of like weapons. Maybe not every weapon, but like
Yeah.
I think a longsword should be able to parry. A greatsword should be able to parry. A shield should be able to parry. And we just change the input window at like different times. So like if you're using a shield and you're parrying with the shield, you can parry at like, you know, a larger time than like a larger block time than like you can with the sword.
That makes sense. Alright, Jack messaged me. We're playing Repo at 10 o'clock.
Okay, 30 minutes.
Yeah. So, if we wanted to do that. So, there needs to be a block, at least for shield wise, there needs to be a block button, and I imagine it would be something alongside the block button that you would parry with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe it's like if you're blocking, you can use your attack button to parry. And I don't know if it'd be like that with, but with swords, I do think. What'd you say? Both triggers. What'd you say?
Like so, like the light and heavy attack button.
Yeah, light and heavy.
So like R1 and
I guess...
and at R2, for example.
Okay. I think it'd be better if it would be like both triggers on each side. So like R2, L2. I think it'd just be more comfortable that way.
That's fair. And it honestly doesn't even have to be like light and heavy attack.
Yeah.
But just two buttons, you know, at the same time.
Yeah. I do like the two buttons at the same time.
And I have a question. Do you think
that might be awkward on mouse and keyboard though.
Yeah. Do you think what's it called? Uh, do you think that parrying should be something that like should be like different from blocking? Like, do you think like blocking an attack should be like trying to guard
Yes.
and trying to block should be two different inputs? Sorry, trying to guard and trying to parry.
Yeah, very much so. I think blocking should just protect you from damage, and the enemy is like still swinging. If you parry, it'll stop their swings. Both of you, in fact, will. So we did talk about parrying, like stopping your character and the enemy from attacking and creating an opening for someone else.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would work with like a longsword, because the point of parrying with the longsword is to make your own opening. Would it be different in that case?
So with a longsword, the idea is that I think the scenario works best if you imagine like a big monster. You are using your blade to deflect their attack, but their attack is still hitting your blade, so like you're knocking both of you out of position.
Okay.
And so when you knock, like you're basically, because you're right, like most times when you're parrying with like any weapon, the idea is that you're opening yourself to follow up with the attack. But we're changing how parrying works.
That would open up like tanks to use shields. That would
Yeah.
open them up a lot for maybe not even using a weapon in their other hand, and instead holding a light or holding something more sport related.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a bad idea. Now, I will say though, again with the longsword though, like it makes sense with the large monster that it would do that, but for smaller monsters, I don't. It kind of feels like that would make sense.
That's fair. I mean, and there could be exceptions.
I will also say it doesn't necessarily have to make sense, but
Yeah.
I think in most cases the point of a longsword, like with like a parry ability, is to parry an attack and then instantly swing with your longsword.
Yeah. We could do like different cases where it's like
Yeah.
enemies are, like one of like let's just take like the Star Wars tabletop RPG for example, where there's like minions, rivals, and nemesis, or nemesis. What the fuck is the plural form of nemesis?
I think it's just, well, I have no idea.
But yeah, nemesis. So let's do like I'd probably want to do like so let's say minions. I would like 4 classes, like minions. What could be after minions? Let's just do minion, mob, rival, nemesis. Okay. So minions and mobs, you parry them, you can attack them. Rivals and nemesis, you parry them, somebody else has to attack them. They're just that strong.
So you kind of gave me an idea of each creature having also having light and heavy attacks.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe heavy attacks are, while they are parryable, you wouldn't be able to attack right after.
Oh, that would be super interesting.
That being said, if you wanted to do that, I feel like you would have to put some sort of indicator that it's a light or a heavy attack. And it would be a small one, but I feel like there would have to be something. Because that'd be really hard to just... It would not be clear if we didn't. And I don't know if we want that or not. I know we want the game to be hard, but I think that would just be agonizing to people.
I don't really like the idea of it being like a visual thing so much. But what if it was an audible thing? Like,
that's fine.
It's like
As long as there's something.
like really exaggerate the animation. So like for a goblin, right? All like it might have like five like a goblin with a club might have like five different light attacks that look a little different. But it has one heavy attack where it jumps up in the air and you hear this one you hear this audio clip where it, and then,
That would be fire. I do like that a lot. Making it more animation based and
Yeah.
audio based.
'Cause I really yeah, I get a yuck whenever I see a red flash nowadays.
Yeah, I do too. I hate the red flash, blue flash, both. That shit pisses me off.
And this way there's like a really high level of like skill expression where like if you've encountered an enemy, you know what a like red attack like or what a heavy attack looks like. And I do think like if we're gonna do a visual thing at all, it has to be like super rare. Like and probably like tied to like boss monsters where it's like their eyes will flash red or something will flash a color,
Yeah.
right? And it's like as soon as the crystal in its chest starts flashing, you know it's about to shoot a bunch of shit into the air and you gotta like run away, right?
Yeah.
But
I do think that the whole like more visual indicator definitely works on like larger creatures. I think it's fine.
yeah.
I definitely don't want to see 4 goblins in front of me, all of them flashing red, all of a sudden
Yeah.
turned into a Christmas light show.
That show would piss me off so much. It's so
That would
yucky.
drive me
It's so
nuts.
yucky. It's so lame. It's so
Especially in,
bland.
like, if we were to make like this dungeon like super dark, and that shit just lit your fucking screen up.
Yeah.
Admittedly, that also might be fucking terrifying. You just couldn't see them and just like 10 red lights pop up around you. Oh shit.
They found a wrong question.
That shit would be crazy, but no, I definitely do think I'm not a big fan of the red flash.
That's like these are good ideas. So like but we still want blocking and parrying to be two different like abilities or two different inputs.
Yeah.
Like-
I think blocking should be something that you completely block damage, but it'll take up stamina.
Mhm.
Parrying wouldn't take up stamina, and instead it would just block one instance of damage and cause an opening as well.
Gotcha. Oh man, that makes parrying like really risky.
It does make it very risky, but it's also very rewarding. I think parrying should be risky.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Um, and then we just change the amount of like time needed to parry based off of a weapon. Um,
I do think like a duelist kind of character would be kind of cool. Some sort of like fencing character.
mhm. Dude, these are such good ideas, dude. Um, Parrying and blocking are two different inputs. Um, parry, window, or any attack is influenced by the weapon or shield used by player character. Um, Light attacks can be parried and offer the opportunity for unity for the player to for the player to attack heavy attacks. However, parrying heavy attack. However, causes both the player and enemy unable to block or attack. Parrying heavy attacks also extend the duration that an enemy unable to attack. So I'm thinking like parrying a light attack, like if you parry a light attack, let's say the window to respond or retaliate is like 0.5 seconds or like a second, right? Like you have a second to respond if you parry a light attack. You parry a heavy attack, you got like 2 seconds to respond. And maybe that's also something that changes for like different monsters as well.
Right. I also think maybe, well, I don't know if I like this or not, admittedly. But going back to the more shield style of parrying, if it is a light attack that you parry, maybe, or rather, if it's a heavy attack that you parry, you might actually be able to respond with your own weapon. But I don't know if I like that.
If it's a shield, the benefit might be that you can still guard attacks.
Yeah.
Like you can't really like attack, but you can still block attacks.
I do think it'd be cool, like, if you were to say, if there's, like, different hitboxes for different shields, so, like, if you were to use a tower shield, like, things aren't gonna, like, hit your legs from range, kind of stuff. It would, like, block most of your body.
Yeah, I like that.
And, like, if you were to use a heater shield, half your body, then if you were to use, like, a buckler, then you'd have to be really precise on how you block.
Yeah, I think like a buckler would be like a shield where, and this might sound crazy, but like you can parry with a buckler and also open the opportunity to attack, like a heavy attack. So you parry a heavy attack and then you can also attack. But pairing with the buckler is just like really hard.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm.
I know Sabian made a document of some sort with like abilities. Um,
No, did he?
yeah, I'm trying to find where it was.
Did he send it?
I did. I thought he shared it.
Oh, is it in character progression the class/weapon system? Is this it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's looking like he has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 skills at the moment. Which isn't that bad, actually.
Six skills. Where? Oh, I see.
Mouse and mouse 1, mouse 2. I was counting his skills as well.
Mouse one, mouse two.
Yeah.
Where do you see that?
It's like way at the bottom.
Oh, I see.
What? Wait, why didn't he just do M1, M2? What is MSEC?
Mouse click one, mouse click two.
That's interesting. I've never seen it like that, so.
How many abilities do you have in Dark and Darker again?
You have 2 active abilities and 4 passives.
Hmm. You said you have two active?
Do what?
You said you have two active?
Yeah, 2 active and then 4 passive, and you can change all of them out with different ones.
Gotcha. Do you have like light and heavy attack?
No. There is basically different swings for weapons, or some weapons, I should say. If you're like one-handed and shield, of course your other swing is gonna be your block. But if you're two-handing, most two-handed weapons have like for the Warhammer, for example, your right click will be a side swipe with it, and then your left click will be like a downwards on top of the head kind of swipe.
Okay.
It changes the attack pattern.
Okay. This might sound goofy. What if what if heavy attacking and attack also parry?
Do what?
What if heavy attacking and attack also heavy attacking, a heavy attack also parry?
I feel like that'd be really hard to do. Not for us necessarily, but for as a player.
Yeah.
Um. I don't know. I guess I would have to ask if it would still is this how you would parry in
No.
general, or
No, it's just another way to parry.
would every weapon have this or no?
I think this would just be like a
course,
universal
minus,
thing.
minus like ranged weapons, of course.
Yeah, I think this would be like a universal thing. Like,
I
you
don't
throw.
know if I'd want it to be a universal thing, because mainly just because the way I see the game so far is very much class individuality, which I feel like if you say you were to run like longsword something, I mean if any weapon can parry at that point, then it would definitely hurt like longswords individual kind of thing. I think.
I mean, like, so longswords still have like let's say if you're like using a longsword, right? Or you're playing a class that can use a longsword, like you still able to like you still have your parry option, right? It's just also if you like happen to throw a heavy attack and it hits an enemy at the same time that their heavy attack is going to hit you, then neither of your heavy attacks go off.
I guess also, I don't know. I don't know if I like that.
Okay.
I definitely just feel like it kind of hurts the class separation. Not by a lot, but I think it does take away something.
Okay.
Well, I also think it would be kind of cool.
It's really fun. I've like Kingdom Hearts does it, or I'm not sure. I did it for the first game. I'm not sure if it did it for the other games, but I just remember it being like a fun thing. Like you didn't have to parry that way. There was an actual like parry, but like
Right.
that was like a very incidental like, hey, like if you fuck up, like there is a way. Like
I think instead of something like that, now it's not quite the same, but giving like other classes, like take the ranger for example. If say your ally is about to be hit, and maybe you shot the enemy's weapon, maybe
yeah,
that would trigger like some sort of parry, or maybe not even a parry, but I don't know exactly what it would do. Maybe it would be a parry. I have no idea. I do think it would be cool to do something like that.
yeah, where like you're like got the heavy attack locked and loaded, and then the enemy comes in for a swing, you ping, and it's like your attack doesn't deal damage, but you also stop them from attacking. Also,
I
Bailey,
guess
tell me
I'm
what
more
you think
thinking-
of.
I think I'm more thinking of like treating it as a parry, and like I don't think doing that would be able to like parry a light attack.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that. So yeah, I think that would be fine actually. As long as it's like two heavy attacks colliding, I think yeah, that's fine. I do
Also-
like that actually.
Also, real quick, Bailey, what do you think about this? The spellcaster, like whatever spellcaster classes there are, like they, like a wizard with a staff, for instance, like your like light attack is like swinging your club. Like your light and heavy attack are like literally swinging your club.
Yeah.
And then using spells is like actual like like consumes mana.
So how I pictured wizard is like them having a tome, for example, and you can cast spells with like individual runes, or you can save spells as like a rune combo, and it would make like an actual spell, and you would like go through your tome, find that spell, and send it, kind of thing.
Interesting. Huh.
That's how I kind of pictured wizard or spellcasters in general.
So they like literally cycle through a book.
Yeah, they have like a list, like in a book that they could maybe set at the beginning of the day or something, or they could add new spells into. Maybe I would think they'd probably have like a limit to how many they can have, just so it's you don't have like 100 spells and you're trying to find the right one.
Yeah, I feel like
Maybe like set like 10 spells a day and have like, I guess your limitation would be mana at this point. But then also,
I came up with something.
if you actually like memorize the runes, you could input them like manually and like still, but like these ones that you say would be like things you could just quick fire. Like if you had a fireball saved and it's multiple lines of runes, you could just click it and then send it. But if you happen to memorize a spell, you could put it in manually and then shoot that spell. It would be slower, but you could do it.
Okay, I think I get what you mean.
And then your staff would just basically be your backup if you ran out of mana. Or
Yeah.
it's either that, or Casey brought up the idea that having like something similar to a cantrip.
Yeah.
Which I also like that idea. I think a mix of both would be pretty good as well.
It would be like a light and heavy attack at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Do like a cantrip, but it's like it like takes like a longer time to cast than the heavy attack does.
Yeah, I like that. I think a big thing with this game is going to be balancing like each class's different resources, just so that they feel like equal in terms of resource usage, like wizard mana to arrows to like I mean I don't really, I guess in my mind a fighters would like burn like max stamina, so they'd have to get their stamina back. Resting and all that good stuff.
That makes sense.
I think that's gonna be a big thing. I do like Tay, or I don't know if Tay suggested this class or not, but the Alchemist, I do like that as a class. I'm a big fan of that. We're supposed to be starting repo.
Yeah, I might hop in the call and start walking home.
It's not really looking like anyone's hopping on it. But
It could be waiting for you.
Well, Gianni's not in there. I think Gianni's supposed to play this.
Oh.
I don't know though. But yeah, I'll hop in there.
I'll switch over as well.
And here.